Right. Pecha Kucha 6, Rush portfolio in 2000 AD. So I need to quickly assemble a portfolio so I can get an internship with real employers as an accessible part of my final year of my illustration course. I'm trying to do that this week. It's something I should have done over summer, but I hadn't thought about it then. Now I deal with it now. So something I had to do this week was talk about books that I couldn't show photographs of. So I did little sketches of them. I'm not a fan of typography, but I find it's far more enjoyable to draw than I would have thought it is. It's something maybe to look forward to doing in the future if I have to, because it makes it more interesting than having to do it digitally. One of the books I looked at was a collection of rubber stamps. Just drawing it in color with coloring pencils was quite fun. Crazy, bad picture, small thumbnail, but you know, I got to do some good old-fashioned illustration. Third book, pretty difficult to do this book justice. I used a photography and graphic design, and I had to kind of just simplify it because I didn't want to do these. I didn't have the time to do these thumbnails in the first place. But it just made the most sense talking about the books. So I did an Adobe Premiere Pro workshop as part of the course this week. Very fun. This is the video that was shown to us. We would at the end of the day to kind of mimic in the simplest forms possible some of these cuts and transitions, all from very famous films. Fun stuff. Yeah. So portfolio stuff. Here's a picture of Liu Bei, reference from Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11, back when I was constructing my portfolio to show to foundation courses several years ago. This is what it's supposed to be about, portraiture and digital painting. Adam West Batman, another example of me just messing around trying to figure out how to use Photoshop. I can't help but wonder, coming across these things again after so long, if I hadn't just spent 3 years painting digitally in Photoshop, where I'd be now. This isn't as bad as I thought it was. You can see it's a lot like this one. It doesn't have any kind of refinement, but as a base to put all the finer details on, it's not the end of the world. You know, I have to learn how to paint, and this shows that maybe I grasp the fundamentals. Ah, yeah, so I also found a comic strip I did of The Awesomeness meeting Batman. The Awesomeness is, I want to do a comic book pastiche. The Awesomeness is my kind of Captain America / The Tick. This is the absolute core of who I am, and I really hope I can find a way to get this across in a way that's a little bit less crappy. Yeah, I just dropped another picture on top of the background. I was trying to create a 40 image portfolio to show to Kingston University and others while working, not having any idea really what to fill the portfolio with. So I ummed and I ahed and I did what I did. So here's a kind of design layout for my current portfolio. A4 spread, description vertical. There will be text on the left-hand side in the column. So it'll be like a 3-column split, 2 columns image. This is Old Boy in situ. I've talked about Old Boy before. I'll talk about it again. My clown typology, one of the first things I did on the course, a good example of how I would like to apply my art style, because apparently I have one. This tends to be the way I do things. Kind of brush in Photoshop, minimalist color. Again, I've got to figure out how to do the copy on the left. Something I did for cancer research, using their color palettes and applying my kind of art style. The Hero C is, you know, the Cancer Research C. They were going to rebrand. I wasn't working for them. I was working for someone working for them as a student. So it didn't go anywhere, but it was an interesting experience nevertheless. A couple of blow-ups of my art style. I've never seen a portfolio cropped the way I'm cropping mine, but I think it makes you think there's more than what I'm showing, which makes it more interesting than if I just show you everything. I could be wrong with that. We'll add the body copy and see if these pages actually hold weight. 2000 AD, pick this up, surprisingly cheap, but then it's really just a single comic book comprised of sort of 5 separate comic book entities. considering you can't get a strong narrative flavour from it, maybe it's moderately priced. Judge Dredd, of course, can't talk 2000 AD without talking Judge Dredd. I like the art style, and I think the narrative does a good job of telling me what's going on, even though it's, I think, maybe only 5 pages long. I would love to be in the position to write and illustrate in this kind of way. It's yeah. So here's Savage. This is what I think of when I think of what I want to do this year: a black and white noir style graphic novel. It's not going to set the world on fire, but the solidness of this work is just undeniable. That this is, I would be very happy to have this as representative of me. This, I'm not sure how I feel about this. This is also the art style on the cover. I can't determine whether it's kind of edited photography, if it's someone who's really good in the painterly style and just knows how to do a really good job of people. The composition makes me think maybe it's the former, not the latter. But you know, he's used dinosaur in his at the end of the story, and that makes me think maybe he's not just directly referenced photographed people, but then maybe on the other hand he has, and he's just found, you know, images of T-Rexes from, say, Jurassic Park. I don't know where I stand on this. It's interesting. It raises discussions. And then to my to-do list, because I'm squeezed for time pretty bad right now, I need to finish my portfolio, do several versions until I think I have the best one to show people who see these things all day, every day. The dissertation, got to do that. That's heavy lifting and it's very important. And I want to do the Smiley Show, but I know it's not going to happen this week. Fingers crossed, but yeah, what's a man to do? Okay, so that brings us to the end of this Pecha Kucha. I'll see you next time.